Good evening. I hope you're all doing well in the United States with this coronavirus. I'm actually in Moscow, and we also have a lockdown right now. We are currently, all the restaurants and everything is closed until April 30th here. My speech today is going to be on food insecurity in Los Angeles, and this project was done by myself and the wonderful help of Maggie and Jennifer last semester in Capstone 2. First of all, let's define what food insecurity is. Food insecurity is being without reliable access to a sufficient quantity of affordable and nutritious food. So, California is home to two of the hungriest cities in America. There's 12 million people that experience food insecurity in America. That's 11% of all Americans. So 2 million of these people are in the state of California. Over 1/3 of these are in Los Angeles. Food insecurity is experienced at a higher rate among the minorities, such as the Black and Hispanic and immigrant children, versus whites and Asians. Food insecurity is highly correlated to families experiencing drug use or homelessness within the past 5 years. So the people that are already having social and domestic issues, on top of it, they also have food insecurity issues where they're not able to get enough food and they're not able to get enough nutrition. So, who exactly is affected by food insecurity? Pretty much everyone. Men, women, children, elderly, and families. There are millions of people throughout Los Angeles County who are food insecure. And most of these, as I mentioned before, are minorities, and most of these minorities have families that are food insecure. Only 65% of those eligible for food stamps received food stamps in 2019. So 35% of all people that are eligible for food stamps don't actually get food stamps. Government programs are not reaching a high portion of those in need. And the reason is this is because of the fear of the government, or information is not reaching these families. The reason that some of these families are afraid of the government is because illegal immigrants, they're afraid of being deported for alerting the government to their presence. So, why does food insecurity among children matter? There's several reasons. One is depression. There's a lot of negative effects that food insecurity has on children. There's, of course, as I mentioned, depression. There's an increased illness. There's psychological problems such as ADHD, poor academic achievement, behavioral concerns, and then also iron deficiency, malnutrition, poor health in adulthood because of the poor nutrition in childhood, and there's a decreased motivation in adulthood. Now, children will continue to experience negative effects on their physical and mental health, their cognitive development, and their academic achievement due to food insecurity. Food insecurity throughout childhood can hinder productivity and lead to health issues in adulthood. A lack of nutrition can delay brain growth and development, especially during the first 2 years of life. Children that experience improved nutrition and proper access to food, they showed a significant cognitive growth and brain development. Intervention programs to provide access to healthy and nutritious food remains the best way to combat malnutrition. So, how do we combat malnutrition and food insecurity among the poorest of the poor and those that are food insecure? The solution is the Food Rescue Alliance. And we suggest in this lecture that we can coordinate with the Food Rescue Alliance to create a community-based food rescue in Los Angeles County. And this would develop a relationship with the Los Angeles County Department of Public Social Services, which is a private organization, and businesses to develop a network of resources that connect individuals suffering from food insecurity with viable food sources. Food sources include local food banks, restaurants with excessive food, nonprofit organizations, private donors, and government agencies, including the Los Angeles County Department of Public Social Services and WIC, Women, Infants, and Children Program. So, what exactly is the Food Rescue Alliance? The Food Rescue Alliance is a nonprofit, membership-based organization that provides training, guidance, and data to organizations interested in opening a community-based rescue in their community. Their mission statement is, Food Rescue Alliance aims to create a more just and less wasteful food system through both movement building and direct support to grassroots community-based food recovery programs. Food Rescue Alliance supports food rescue organizations through peer-to-peer learning, trainings, consulting, resource sharing, and workshops. Food Rescue Alliance aims to create a more just and less wasteful food system through both movement building and direct support to grassroots community-based food recovery programs. They support food rescue organizations through peer-to-peer learning, trainings, consulting, rescue sharing, and workshops. So, membership in the Food Rescue Alliance, it includes a lot of different benefits, and the membership costs are charged on a sliding scale, and no nonprofit is turned away if they can't afford the fees. This package deal guidebook offers step-by-step instructions on how to create and operate a community-based food rescue. If people still have questions, there's no problem. Membership includes one-on-one support from people with proven results. So, what's the process that we can do here? Los Angeles County is one of the largest cities in the United States. It has been identified that food insecurity affects millions of people annually. Los Angeles County has thousands of restaurants that throw away unused food on a daily basis. The needs and resources are there. It's time to get started. The package deal guidebook can be found at a particular link, and there's basically a process where we can get restaurants together with the Food Rescue Alliance. So 40% of all food is wasted and ends up in landfills. Current local food banks receive funding through three sources: city and federal government grants, local businesses, as well as small donations by local city citizens left at food drop locations, but they are struggling to meet the demand. There's untapped surplus of unused food going to waste in local businesses. These local businesses include grocers, restaurants, and caterers. They have large quantities of excess food that get discarded on a daily basis, such as leftovers, prepared or uncooked food, or food close to spoiling, including fruits and vegetables. Because these foods can assist in supporting the food insecure, it is vital to bring these organizations together at a community level to help the hungry and to simultaneously reduce food waste and utilize produced resources. If only 15% of food waste was repurposed for the hungry, it would feed a staggering 25 million people. So, where has this worked? There's been a lot of successes before, and the Food Rescue Alliance has worked in other cities. In Boulder, Colorado, where the Food Rescue Alliance started, since 2011, over 3 million pounds of landfill-bound food has been redistributed, reaching 17,000 people annually. And this successful example, of the Food Rescue Alliance, coordinates with individual families, housing sites, preschools, after-school programs, and low-income senior housing to set up food delivery for local markets, delivering food that would otherwise be disposed of. The Boulder program also collects and analyzes data and uses artificial intelligence web-based applications to coordinate its volunteers and food vendors. The Boulder Rescue is both a manager and member of the Food Rescue Alliance, and its model has been duplicated not only in several U.S. states, as well as internationally in the Philippines. Today, 40 cities have used information gathered from Boulder Food Rescue open source software, which makes data available to other cities and gives other cities a valuable resource to start their own food rescue operations. This is with the intention of having the model used in other cities as a means of helping the hungry and simultaneously reducing food waste. The Boulder Food Rescue has created a process where they do not need storage facilities. Volunteers schedule food pickups and drop-offs in the same day to create a system that shuttles the food from supplier to recipient, cutting overhead costs. So, finally, community-based food rescue can feed those in need, reduce waste, build strong community bonds, create fiscal and environmental responsibility, and utilize already produced resources. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it, and stay safe during the coronavirus and social distancing.